Right, let's get back to business. Let's get back to business, please. Let's get the ladies back in.
Let's get the ladies back in, please.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Let's get Nikki back in, and let's get Arnie back in here, and we can just continue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
We.
Audrey, you look tired.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Arnie,
You know what I meant to ask the young lady? You know, each time, you know, like, because it sounds like you're submissive because you followed your husband all the way through all the hardships. How hard was it for you to submit going through all of that?
Very, and I would say that's still something that I have to choose to do every day. And I have definitely seen it modeled well. I grew up with parents that modeled it very, very well. And so to me, when I went into a marriage, I thought that's what it would be. And for my husband, that was never modeled to him. And so there were many times where he did not make good decisions for us and did not lead well. And so I really struggled with that idea of it. Now when we're living with my parents again, which I never thought would happen, I know it's hard for my parents to watch. I mean, they don't step in, but it's hard for them to watch and see when I am combative or I'm not.
you see when you said you initially you submitted to him completely. Now that things have slightly not probably gone to plan, do you feel as if that has made you question his leadership slightly?
Yeah, but I don't think that that's like for me, even though I don't always like the things that he will do necessarily, if he's leading, I can still trust that he will be the one that will have to lead us through it anyways. And if I try and lead, it just goes to crap anyway. So I still have to be submissive to that. And I think that when it's done well, it's done really, really well, and it's safe and it's good. When people hear that word, they think it's like oppressive or they think it's abusive and stuff like that. And I think when it's modeled correctly, it's very awesome.
Just one more thing before I just pass it to, I'll pass it to Auntie and then we'll go to our Nikki that's in here. What is the word submission? What does it mean to you?
For me, it is like I believe in complementarianism, where I'm not like we're of equal value, but we have different roles. And so, but for him to be leading our family, I need to trust him to make the decisions and I need to follow his lead. And so, what he needs from me, I'm going to do. If he makes a decision that is not going to better everyone, we'll feel it, but he ultimately is the one who holds the responsibility of that. So to me, it's safe. It's good. I think if it's done well, and it's going to take practice, but I also can't be backbiting and I can't be trying to constantly be putting myself first. That's how I feel anyway.
Can I just say two things? One thing that I've learned, young lady, I don't even know how to, I'm calling you young lady, is the best way to take submission is let him do whatever he wants, because at the end of the day, he's going to have to sort it out. So don't even worry about it. That's the easiest way I can put it. You know, when you put your trust in the man, you know what? If he makes a good decision, it's down to him. If he makes a bad decision, it's still down to him.
Right. Yeah.
And I find that if you're going to be submissive and you got that mindset where, you know what, I ain't going to worry about nothing because it's all down to him. Because at the end of the day, the pressure's always on the man. And I think sometimes as women think, oh, he ain't done that right. You know, he will sort it out. If he knows he's made a mistake, he will sort it out. If he needs your help to sort it out, he asks you. So that's what I find. And the other thing is that you had good examples around you. He didn't. Has living with your parents, has any of their behavior improved your relationship or made him wake up to think, look how they deal with it?
I think a lot of it, I think that's been the saving grace at this point. Yeah, I think that they have been a good example, and they have also been able to, like, their boundaries are very good, so they have never like tried to come in between and call the shots, which is, I think, very hard to do if you're watching things fall apart. But they have always been very much about being safe and helping him and doing what they need to do in being good role models for both of us. And so I think that's been the saving grace for sure. Because if we would have had everybody take, my side and have just said, like, these are things that are problematic and come with us, we'll take care of you, this would have been, done a long time ago. So.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you went to stay with, say, if you had a sister that was single or a friend that was single, or he had a friend that was single, it'd be totally different from sharing a house with a happily married couple where the woman's submissive.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Okay, that's all I picked up from my story.
No, that's not. So Nikki, is that you at the bottom then? Yeah.
Well, I do want to say, like, first off, I do want to applaud you for staying by your man and, like, sticking through, like, even through, like, the rough times. Because I've seen, even in my friends' relationships where things get super rough in their relationship, they're like, oh, I can leave. I can go get a different man. I can have a man who has his stuff together. And I don't have to worry building himself, like, he's already put together, he's got this. So I applaud you for sticking by him and being there for him and having his back in public and in private. So I want to
So Nikki, tell us about you. Tell us about Nikki, how old are you? Where are you from? You in a relationship? You married? You have kids? Let's go.
Okay, so my name is Nikki. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. I am 28 years old. I have 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old boy and I have a daughter that is going to be 2 in May. I don't have a daughter. Long story about that. I am also
You don't have a what, sorry?
I'm sorry, what?
You don't have a what, sorry? You don't have a what?
It's a long story with my daughter. So
No, it cracked up before that. After you said daughter, you didn't hear anything else you said.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So I am 28 years old. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old boy named Kason, and then I have a going on 2-year-old daughter named Nola.
How many? Is it from the same father?
No, they're from separate dads. But I'm back with my son's father currently.
You're back with the first. You're back with the first child.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Carry on.
Yes. So
Don't say
I'm sorry.
Say currently. It just sounds temporarily when you say currently.
No. My foundation with him is solid. Like, this is where he was. I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay, so have you I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if you're following me through Arnie or just through here or whatever, but so this is my channel and this is my page. We're going live, so make sure you guys follow the page. I'm going to subscribe after the channel because the video is going to go up. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, if that's okay, and then you just speak to me, and then we'll just kind of have a conversation. So, so you've never been married? So you've never been married?
No.
Okay, so you said you got two baby fathers, but you got back with your initial one. So what happened that made you break up with him and then end up having a child by someone else and then going back to him? Tell me what happened.
So my outlook on relationships then was I didn't like the fact that he was cheating. He had a really bad issue with cheating and drugs. And I didn't know the extent of how addicted he was with both of those things until I got pregnant with my son. And then everything started coming to light about the situation. So I left him. I think my last straw of leaving him was him trying to get with my best friend. And my best friend like played it off like nothing happened.
So your parents, were your parents married?
No.
Who brought you up?
My mom and my stepdad.
Okay. Did your mom have a stepdad, or did your mom have a boyfriend in the home, or?
So how I was raised as a child, my mom had a lot of boyfriends. So I was never taught the right way for a relationship or the right way to handle relationships. It was, if this guy doesn't do this, like pay your bills, if he doesn't want to take care of you, if he, what was the other one? If he wasn't being like full on committed to you, leave him and go for the next.
Is that what your mom taught? Is that what your mom basically taught you? Is that what you saw, basically?
Yes. That's
Okay.
what I saw. That's what my mom constantly tells me to this day. Like, say if I have an argument with my boyfriend and I go to my mom just to get like a advice, it wouldn't be an advice to help me. It would be an advice to leave him. Go find somebody else. You could do better than him. You need a man that has 6 figures. You need to do this. And I was like, well, sometimes men need a help of a woman to get them to where they are. And that's why I came back to my son's father, because I do love him and I do see him changing every single day, and he is bettering himself every single day.
Okay. So the second guy you got with, how did that happen?
He was a friend.
What you say?
He was a friend of a friend. So I met him through a friend of a friend, and him and I got really close really quick. And I found out he was married. I told him I was.
Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna have to just stop you there for a second. We're gonna have to just cut this up a little bit. So, when I heard he was a friend, listen, I'm just kind of speaking to everybody right now. So don't worry if I speak through you for a minute. Don't worry about it. But I've said this: men and women can't be friends. They can't be friends. And I'm sure you at the top there. Your husband would probably have some issues about you if you kept male friends around you, because you know, in all honesty, you know, men, we are not friends with you. We're just waiting for our opportunity, for that moment where your boyfriend does something or your guy does something and you come to us. And men are good. Listen, men are like, we call these orbiters, where they orbit around you, and women tend to keep them strategically around them. And so when men hear friends, then I hear, oh, your friend got you pregnant, or how did that happen? Yeah, it tends to be that way. They start off being your friends, and, you know. But anyway, the only reason why I said that is because you said that.
I
So
think it's saying something here.
Huh?
All of my
All
male
male
friends
friends
are
want to sleep with their girlfriends. Yeah, all us male friends want to sleep. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, so you met a friend of a friend. Carry on.
Yes, I met a friend of a friend. We started hanging out a lot. We had a lot in common. And then one thing led to another. We were drinking, and then kept the doing for 6 months. And then I ended up getting pregnant. Told him I was pregnant. He told me he was married, and he's got to worry about his wife and kids, which, mind you, his wife and kids were states away. And
but he still has wife and kids though. So
yes, so they're still together to this day. So I'm not going to air out his name or anything. Just
no, don't. You don't have to say his name. So,
yeah.
but why was you on birth control?
Because I couldn't afford it at the time, and on top of that, I wasn't on any insurance. So my job that I had didn't give me the insurance that I needed for birth control. On top of that, I was a single mom, so I also had an apartment to pay for along with the car bill. So
why couldn't he use condoms?
that's a good question. Maybe I should have asked him that.
I think you could have.
In the moments when things to happen.
Or you could just keep your legs closed. That was another option.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's probably the best option. You know what it is? It's weird because I actually like you. Like, normally when someone will be saying what you would be saying, I would probably be a little bit more. But part of me doing this is also understanding who taught women, and what they experienced growing up and who showed them. And if I keep coming with the same, like, how I was raised or what I was taught, it doesn't show that I'm trying. You know what I mean? And I am
Yeah.
actually trying to listen to women and trying to create a space where we can speak as men and say things and women can hear things. I think what you represent is what happened to a lot of women. You haven't been taught, you haven't been shown certain things, and because of that, it's involved you acting certain, you know what I mean, having certain
Yeah.
outcomes. And I think
I'm
what we
also
need to
honest with my truth, and I'm also holding myself accountable because I should have learned from my son's father. Like, okay, like I can't get it by having sex. I can't get it by sounding great. I need to be my authentic.
Arnie, your audio's messed up. Yeah, Nikki, Nick, go.
Hang on. It's everything.
Yeah, Nikki, carry on, go on.
I'm at least taking accountability for my actions, and
Mhm.
a lot of women, they're always putting the blame on somebody else. It's like, okay, this is my accountability. This is what I've done, and I'm changing it over time.
Arnie, your laptop is messing up the signal, you know. You need to come back on your phone, Arnie. It's killing the audio. Arnie. Yeah,
She's working on it.
Yeah,
She's working on it.
Arnie, I'm gonna take you out and then just get your audio sorted out because it was killing the audio. Nikki, like, I just want to say to you, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you being able to come on a platform with someone that you don't know to be able to share some of your story. I think I just. Did you say you don't have your daughter?
Yes. So I chose, it was something that really sat with me, and I'm going to be honest. I could not afford 2 kids, let alone afford one by myself. And I wasn't getting child support from my son's father because I chose that myself, because my son's father wasn't ready to be a father, and I chose to keep the child. So instead of punishing him for me keeping the child, I waited till he was ready to be the father. And I understood we were both young. I was 21, he was 20. So he still had a lot of things he needed to figure out and to understand his own mind and what he wanted. So it took him a year and a half to come around. But when he came around, he has not missed a step, has not missed a beat, has not missed a cry, has not missed anything for my son. He's always there. He's always helping out. He's supporting. If I need diapers, if I need anything, like at all, my son's father would do it for me with no questions asked. So I never felt like I needed to get child support from him. So when I was living on my own, I had a roommate. There was times she's watching this, so I don't want to air her out. There was times that things weren't being met, so it was left up to me. So I had to cover my side plus her side on things, if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I couldn't afford 2 kids. So I chose to at least go through with the pregnancy because this child didn't ask to be here. And I'm
Good
not
for
one
you.
to judge anybody else for their own body and their own choices, but I chose to at least go through with the pregnancy. And
Good for you.
with that, I looked at adoptions. I looked at open, closed adoptions. I looked at what I could do to cope with it because I didn't believe in going to therapy for this situation of what I was choosing. And I found out through the adoption agency that I was going through that my sister was trying to adopt.
What?
So
That's crazy.
I know.
So are you going to tell me your sister adopted your baby?
So
That's
I
amazing.
This is an amazing story.
Yeah, so I decided to not go with that adoption agency and just went up to my sister, pulled her to the side and her husband, and I asked them how would they feel about having a newborn. And they were like, well, we're not really looking for that. And I was just like, well, I think you guys would be the perfect family to raise my daughter and for me to be there to help. Hold on. Sorry. To be there to help. Hold on. Where is it? Well, the light doesn't want to turn back on.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna let you figure out your light. It's cool.
I'm gonna shut the game room. I'll go in the game room. So I went up to her and I was like, you know, here's the stipulation. I want to be able to see my daughter and help in any way possible. So I still, to this day, I still help my daughter. I buy her clothes. I let them use my card once a month to buy groceries, whatever they need for the whole entire household that they're in. If they ever need anything, first person they need to call is me, because they have my daughter, so I need to help provide for my daughter.
So is she like actually legally adopted by them? Oh, she is. Okay. And so then how is like as your daughter gets older, like are you going to have it be open? Like is it going to be like that she'll know and everything like that? What is the relationship like? If she'll obviously be calling them mom and dad, I would assume. Okay. And so then are you kind of hoping that she will call you by like name or auntie or like how are you planning
whatever
on
she feels comfortable with after she gets told the information? So
Okay.
If she understands at 5 years old, then we're going to tell her at 5. If she understands at 10, we'll tell her at 10. We're going to be completely honest, and then I'll let her decide what she feels necessary and comfortable with.
Guys, I see a lot of guys in the comments. Guys, you have to understand something. Yeah? It's very rare that we get a woman that is accountable. Then on top of that, it's very rare that we get a woman that doesn't terminate or kill her baby because she can't have it. And you know what I mean? And it's even rarer that we get a woman that child can now be adopted by her sister and be brought up in that home. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, I'm not here to just tear women down. Man, you have to understand this. We cannot work. It will not work. It will not work by tearing women down when they are telling us something and they've been open and they've been honest and they're owning it. You have to understand she wasn't raised right. I'm not disrespecting how you was raised, but she wasn't taught certain things and she didn't have some of the things that we had. So what do we do now? What do? We see what happens when a woman isn't taught right, and when her mother prescribes her to, oh, you know what, get what you can from a man. If a man doesn't play by ball, then you do this. Like, oh wait, she's
she's loading here.
I think she came out.
I can't see it. Interesting. Oh, there we go.
We'll get her.
I can't see the comments, so you're getting backlash.
No, it's not. It's not backlash. It's not backlash. It's just that. Look, she has kids by 2 separate men. You know, like she was unmarried. It's fine. She, you know, she gave away a child. So people are going to be like, hold on a second. But at the same time, we have to look at what factors led up to that. And on top of that, she's not, you know, she's owned it, and then she didn't terminate her child, which most people would have done. And like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. If she did it again, she would do it differently. But at the same time, we have to look at, okay, what is she doing now? What did she do? What's she done since then, right? And I think on one aspect, we have a woman that on the left-hand side of us that has been raised and she's a submissive wife, and, you know, she has trusted her husband leadership. Things might have gone wrong, but she's still there. Another woman that, you know, didn't have the same upbringing, hasn't been the same thing, but the same way, you're both at the end of it still managed to get to be in loving relationships. Now, I'm sure you would prefer, your child is a blessing, but I'm sure you prefer to have another child with a guy you're currently with versus what the scenario, what it is, but your man still loves you enough as an accepted that. Like, many men can't do that. I'm not saying I'm one of the men that can do that, but for the men that can do that, they can do that. I just think when people are willing to put their hand up and say, look, this is what I've done, this is how I was raised, but this is what I'm going to go do now. We need to allow these people the space to do it and not allow them, because then what happens if I shoot people down? Then they're not going to want to do that. Then other people are not going to want to come on here and say, actually, you know what? Like, her story reminds me of me. And if we're trying to do something and we're getting a lot of attention from the US and overseas and stuff, and I appreciate all the women that are coming and sharing their stories, then I want to make you I want to make you know that you can come and share it here, you know? So that's just my thing. I'm just saying it to the man then because I know, innit? I know. But man then, we have to understand that I like this one. And I don't tend to like them either, you know what I mean? So,
No, that's
like,
good.
especially
That's
when
good.
they're telling you stories, so, yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
for sure.
so then I gave her to my sister. It was something, so I gave birth to her naturally. I felt like I wanted to experience it because I had an epidural and I wanted to experience what a natural birth was. 110% different feeling. Respect to every woman who gives birth naturally. 110%. And the bond that you have like after that is just, my daughter went to the ICU or the NICU because she had a collapsed lung after I gave birth to her. So she was in the NICU for 2 days. So I wasn't able to see her until the day that I had to sign papers to sign her over. And that's when I actually got to see her with the ventilator and everything on her. So I didn't want to sign the papers, but I knew that I was doing the best for her. And the best for her was to have her in a 2-parent household that can show her what love is, that can protect her, that can provide for her, that can show her what a true loving foundation was. And that was my sister and her husband. They already have a daughter. They have an 8-year-old daughter, and they wanted another family member. And my sister just couldn't give birth anymore to a child. So it was just, it was perfect. So
I have a question. So if this is your sister, and like, what was her relationship with your mom? Like, anyway, because because she obviously ended up with a good relationship, right? And if you had seen that poorly displayed, then it's interesting to me that worked out.
So my sister got kicked out of the house as soon as she graduated. So my parents never really let my sister be a child. She had to raise us. And she had to take care of us at such a young age. And then just seeing how my mom was, I picked up faster about like my mom because she's my mom. So I'm not really sure how my sister turned out in this loving relationship, but I have all respect for her, and I wish
that's great.
I watched my sister instead of my mom.
Right.
Because once my sister left, she was gone. She came around, but she tried to keep her distance because my mom, I love her, but her parenting wasn't always the best.
That's fair.
And one thing I also like, it's mad because someone said there, oh, she should, wait, hold on, what did someone say? But if she didn't open her legs and it will use the condom, she know the baby will have to go through this process. I did say that, and someone else did say that, and she did say that. But then I also started hearing things about not having money for birth control and certain things. And I remember that America's slightly different from us with healthcare and certain things like that we have over here. And at the same time, it's like, when you come from a place of privilege, when I say privilege, I just mean like, sometimes you have to forget, like even when I heard that, I had to be like, what, no money for like birth control but in reality, sometimes people live a life where that is. And I'm not making excuses for it. Remember, I'm the man them's voice. I'm not,
right.
But at some point.
Yeah. But also this was a married man who also wasn't using protection.
Yeah, at some point, this guy could have saved, he could, like he's married, right? And he's loose balling, he's out here shooting up the club. Like, and one of the things that they always say, if you're stepping out, one thing you don't do is you don't have a baby outside of your home. You do not bring it back, right? So, like, she's given accountability for what she did. So there's a man on this side, and okay, what about this guy? He's cheated on his wife, yeah? He's cheating on his wife, and he's got with a woman that's already got a child already, that's already had it, right? So he knows that, like, this woman she can have kids, and she's already had kids already, right? And you're shooting up the club. You're shooting up the club for 6 months. What did you think was going to happen, right? Yeah, and especially if the woman doesn't believe in abortion or something, then bro, he wanted to have a baby. I told Mandem before, The moment, every time you have sex, you must be prepared to have a baby. I know it sounds weird,
No,
but the
it's
moment,
true though. It's true. That is the natural
even with a condom,
consequence.
like even with a condom, even with birth control, she could have had condom, birth control, and she still got pregnant. That's what happens when if you have a baby. If you were completely celibate or practice abstinence, that could not happen. So I always say to man, then they'll be like, "Oh, she trapped me." I'm like, "No, she didn't. You trapped yourself," because
Yeah.
because after the point of that is we don't control anything anymore. So women control who gets born, right? But
Yeah.
up until that point, we have the control. And the moment you give it to a woman, now you become at her mercy, what she decides to do. So if you give that power to the woman, bro, that's your L. You don't get to come and cry to me and tell me, oh, I'll be like, blood, why did you catch the L? Oh, I know, fam. Oh, you know, it just felt so good. That's up to you. It felt so good. Now you got to deal with this, innit? Me personally, I'm good. And we have to hold that accountability for the guy that's not in here, because he's gone back to his wife and his life all happy, and she's had to. He doesn't care about this child. And what type of man? What type of man has a baby with a woman and then turns his back on his child? I don't give a damn. So so if I'm gonna hold her account, cool. But the man turned his back on her. So maybe she wouldn't have given the child away if he didn't do that, and then find out actually he's got a whole wife and kids. So man them. You guys, you breaking the code. If you're gonna step out on your wife, and I don't advocate for stepping out on your wives, you do not bring back any sexual transmitted diseases. Yeah, you do not embarrass her in front of the friends, in front of her work colleagues, in front of her family, and you certainly on no circumstance do you have a baby outside. This guy's gone and broken all this. He's broken them. And the moment you break them is the moment where this happens. So man, them, if you wanna play this game, then this is what happens. So when I'm holding, as she's been accountable, and there's the guy not here, I can tell you how he's messed up, and what I wouldn't do. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So yeah, carry on.
300 because I told him that I was pregnant. He sent me $300 for an abortion, and then he blocked me on everything. So I told him all I had left of him was his email. So I had to email him. I emailed him and I sent him photos of my daughter, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know I did keep the baby. This is your daughter. If you don't want any contact with her, be ready at 18 when she comes knocking on your door. And he said that that's not his child, which, mind you, he was the only guy I was sleeping with.
Mm-hmm.
So how could he have been somebody else's kid? Or how could she have been somebody else's kid? Like that's his kid. He even looks she looks smack like him. Like they look like each other.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, but after I had my daughter, my son's father, he stepped in the picture, and he was really there for me, because it was an emotion I didn't understand at the time, and I was determined to go through it. That's him in the background coming in. But he stood by my side every step of the way. He has been nothing but supportive. Every single time there has been a time I couldn't get out of bed, he's been there to help me get out of bed and help me get my life together, help my son, help me be there for him. So
Doug said,
back with them.
if a woman has a child against my will, I'm not going to be involved. All you're going to get is a check. Look,
I never went after him for it. I just said, hey, I do have the child. Number two, I never took him to court to try to get a DNA test, because I already had my mind made up of what I was going to do to benefit for her. And three, if I was trying to get a check, don't you think I would have kept the child and then got the DNA test?
Guys, Karen talking. I'm just getting the charger. My battery's low. Karen speaking.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If I was trying to go after his money, I would have kept my daughter. I would have took him to court, had them do the DNA test. I let him have his piece. Like,
Mm-hmm.
His wife found out I was pregnant with his child. His wife messaged me. We talked. She said some very messed up things, which is fine. I understand, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like I said, I understand as a woman being married, finding out that your husband is messing around with another woman. I can understand that. So I will take that is my accountability. I shouldn't have been messing with a married man, slap on my hand, and I should have seen the signs. So I didn't force this man. I didn't make him stay with me. I didn't make him come inside me. This was all him free willy-nilly doing it. So, and no, I didn't meet him from my first baby daddy. I actually met him through one of my friends who was going to AA, and he was telling me, I don't even know how this situation came about, but I came over to his house to help him move, and that's how I met his friend that got me pregnant.
It's interesting. Are you able? Okay. No, I was going to say something, but no, it's all
Go
good.
ahead.
No, it's interesting. For me, I am actually adopted, so I think that it's
my stepdad adopted me. I mean, my mom is my mom, but my stepdad adopted me. So
okay. So then you have a value for adoption and everything too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's really good. I think that's very, very brave. I wish more people understood that that was a more available option.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm taking accountability of my actions. Like,
Yeah.
I should have kept closed because at that point, that man was just seeing me for sex. I wasn't doing anything for him or benefiting him in any way other than she's here to have sex with me because my wife is away. My wife for 7 months. This chick is here, so why not?
Right. Oh.
I'm back. I'm here. I was just charging my phone. I just picked it up. So what now then?
Well, my father and I, my boyfriend, we were living in his parents' basement for 2 years because we needed to pay off debt and get our situation correct. And his parents were very gracious on letting me come in and be there. And we just got approved for our first home. So we're moving into that on the 2nd.
Congratulations.
Also, well, I keep calling my son's father, but my boyfriend also helped me get a car because my car I had blew up at the time. So he helped me get that. And we both work. I'm not a housewife. I would love to be. I could cook, clean, take care of the kids. I would love to get my son out of public school and homeschool him because I don't agree with some of the teachings that they teach our children. I would love to teach my own son, but I work for Goodwill. I definitely try to give back a lot as well. And then his dad, he is a management too. He makes actually a lot more money than me, but he does pay most of the bills.
Okay.
And I do whatever he can pay for, so I cover what he can.
Well, I think, like I said, you're being quite honest and open in here, and like you're on your journey, and it seems to be getting better. So I'm saying to you, and if you just carry on going, like your love is in the straight. There's no straight route for none of us. So who am I to say? But my thing is this: like the idea of what we do is to speak to younger people and to people as well that are similar situations, people that are not in those situations, and people to understand, like, ideally it's ideal to have one baby father. It's recommended to be married, and it's recommended to think about who you're laying down with. Like, it's very serious. It's not a joke, because that person, it's like, whenever you meet women and they tend to be, and they're single mothers, they tend to be quite blasé about it, because what they've done now, they've tried to empower single mothers, and they've gone to make single mothers believe it's a badge of honor, and I've tried to say in best possible no disrespect, like it's a very disrespect to come to a man with another man's child and expect that man to raise that man's child, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And single mothers don't actually realize what they're asking for, and they tend to shame men a lot. They'll say things like, you know, a real man would do that. They'll be like, oh, who hurt you? Oh, they'll be like, oh, when I grew up, I had a stepdad. But the stepdads are older, not the stepdads today. Those men were rated. You know what I'm trying to say to you? They respected them. But now women come with 1, 2 child and expect it as a badge of honor, and it's not a badge of honor. It's a very big disrespect to us men.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say it, what they start getting mad on social media, they start getting mad, they get triggered, because in reality, you know, they don't want to feel as if that their options are outweighed. But you have to be realistic. When you come with 1 child or with two children, and then you come into the single place and you meet men, you have to understand that the types of men that you can get, it limits you. But we're in a world now where they don't want to tell anybody that anything that you do has a consequence. So it's like,
you know.
yeah. So when you speak about, you know, you don't want a woman with a high body count, they'll act like you're shaming women. They'll be like, oh, it's because you're insecure. It always comes down to you're insecure. It has nothing to do with insecure. There's all types of reasons why you might not want someone that slept around, but ultimately, the most important reason is that is a standard and preference that you have for yourself, and that's what you have. It doesn't mean that if someone does OnlyFans or someone's a corn star that I'm going to go start pointing fingers. No, that has nothing to do with what you do. But me personally, that's not what I want from the type of woman that I'm going to deal with. And I think I'm entitled to have that. And so are you. You're also entitled not to be with a guy that's been with every single person. And you're entitled to say, no, I don't want that, right? That's your preference and standard. And you shouldn't be shamed for having it. And if I fall short of your preference, if I come with a child and your preference is you don't want to date men with kids, I don't get to come and say to you, oh, you know, only a real woman would. What man would go to a woman and say only a real woman would raise enough? It doesn't even make any sense. But this is, yeah. So this is what we find ourselves in, and this is the world that we find ourselves in. So when I speak, I try to speak in a way where we can speak, and I'm glad that we have. You guys are actually on complete opposites, you know, in where you guys are in life. But ultimately, I see ahead of me 2 good women who have found themselves men that are willing to go out there and work, and you know what I mean, and provide for them. So I think with this live, it's kind of, this is Woman's Hour, and I want to speak to more women, and only by speaking to more women can we actually help men and help families, and understanding how they were brought up and how they were raised and what was taught to them and what wasn't taught makes it better and makes it easier. Because what tends to happen with me is I'll speak in a direct way. I don't know if you guys follow me, but please make sure you follow me and subscribe to my channel afterwards. I speak in a very direct way, and I speak to women. And I have 3 sisters, and I have nieces, and my parents are married for over 40 years. I grew up in a complete nuclear family. All my siblings are married. I'm the only one that's not. So I've grown up in that, and I've seen that, and that's what I want, right? So I've had to understand that the more and more I speak to people is that not many people not everyone grew up in that thing. And for some people, it's very foreign to them. And the first time they may hear it like this, and they'll label me all types of things. Oh, you know, he incel, or, you know, misogynist, he hates women. They'll say all types of crazy things because what they're trying to do.
That's the threat, though, to that agenda, right? Like it's a threat to the family unit. So
I just want to.
But it's not nice.
No, it's not.
Hating. You're not being misogynistic. You're pointing out factual stuff. Like I don't. I'll be quiet.
No. And this is the thing. Like, I don't even expect you to be quiet. It's just it's because, see, if you came with a different energy, you would get a different me. Trust me. I do it. But I just match energies. And what do I do with a woman that comes and tells me her whole life story and tells me I messed up and I did this wrong and whatever, and I understand, and then I've got back with the guy, and what do I do with this woman? Do I tell her, oh my God, like, you should, yes, I said you should have close your legs. Yes, I said you should use condoms. Yes, I said a lot of things, but on top of that, I also said what you did right with the scenario. I also said what this man didn't do.
And I think it's commendable too. Like, I just want to point out that it's commendable that you have decided that you were going to deal with the consequences, and then also that you are going to continue on the up and up and try to better yourself instead of sitting in self-pity, or instead of trying to gain some sort of traction for me. So I think that that's very commendable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, man, and that's what we want to put, and hopefully other women will see this when we put the video up on YouTube, and will see it and be able to be like, yeah, actually, you know, and I like to look to women that haven't been in that scenario, and they're like, actually, wait, maybe this is not the best scenario for me to put myself in, and
right.
Ultimately, we have to just vet the men. We have to vet the men, and one of the things is you have to vet the men that you lie down with. You really need to, the people that you put, because this becomes your level. Whoever man interact with you after that in your life, whoever your baby father is, that's your level. So if your baby father is an athlete, if your baby father is a movie star, if your baby father, that's the types of men that that you're gonna interact, right? But if your baby father is a crackhead, then the types of men that are going to interact is going to be that level, because you haven't set your level. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So whoever you choose to procreate with becomes your level of man, because every other man that comes and asks what the guy that you lay down with, and if he ain't doing that much, men are not going to actually want to come and do more than him. So I think
in saying that too, like, and going back to on the level, what she has also done for her daughter is also like, when she grows up, she'll actually understand that she was valued enough to be put into a safe environment, into an environment with a 2-parent family. And so her level of, hopefully, when she is looking for prospective men in her life, that she would also value herself as higher, because she wasn't just being raised to think that, you know, I'm not of any value, or I'm just discarded. So I think too that that's also very commendable.
Thank you. Thank you. I also want to add that my son's father and I have been on and off for almost 10 years. And this is the first time that we've been in a full, like, committed, like 100%, I'm fully in, we're doing this, we're going all in, tooth and nail, for 2 years? Going on 3. So, and we've been nothing but going up and up and up. Like, he moved to a different job where he's making more money. He's in a whole different mindset of what he was years ago. So I hold him as a high value man to me, because the person who he was and the person that he is now, I can stand by him even if he's in the wrong, and be like, you know what, that's my man. Like, I'm gonna listen to him, and I don't more like I used to, because he expressed to me, those guy friends are just there for a way in when you
100%.
let them.
100%. That's why men.
Because he had me text my friends, mind you. He said, text one of your guy friends and say, we broke up. I need somebody to be DTF. Can you be DTF with me?
Did you do what? He did that. He did the test, and did you do the test? I need to know what happened.
4 of my guy friends failed.
How many guys did you text?
10. And 4 of them failed.
Damn! I can't even lie.
6 out of 4, or 6
out of
10.
I can't even lie. 6 out. So basically, like even I thought it was gonna be like an 80, like an 80% fail. You got some good male friends, but damn, basically,
they knew it was a trap.
Half of your friends want to blow your back out.
But it was just, I said, hey, me and Brian broke up. That's my boyfriend's name. But me and Brian broke up. I really need a place to crash. And I also I need to forget this happened. I said, are you down?
Oh my God.
I said, are you down for me to come over and stay? And all 10 of the guys said yes for me staying, but 4 of them said yes to be down to do other things.
Okay, you see the other guys, those guys are the cool guys. They're like, nah, I ain't gonna tell her, yeah, but when she comes around here, I'm gonna blow that back out, bro, because she's already on that, innit? So I'll tell her she can stay, but I'm not gonna do nothing. But when she moves to me, I'll just, them guys, basically 100% of them were about to fail. I'm gonna be honest with you. 100% was all gonna fail.
Nobody was telling you to go fix it.
So if I hang out with them now, like say I only have like 1 guy friend now, but if I hang out with them, I always have another woman present.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
best
way,
to never be alone.
That way I never get into a predicament that makes me vulnerable, that falls back on me. And I could be like,
And then they don't have to go against he said, she said, right? Like you're protecting also their integrity by not allowing opportunity for speculation.
And mind you, I'm a person that used to go to the bars all the time, that used to tell my man he was being insecure, that used to tell my man he's just used to tell my man.
You was on demon time. You was one of those ones who were like, I'm going out to the club. I'm gonna do what I'm saying. You can't tell me nothing. One of those girls with a single woman.
So like you're being self-conscious. There's obviously something wrong with you. It's not me. It's you. You need to fix
sign language.
In reality, it was me because 1, I dressed the part of a slut. I'm gonna just say it. Yes, I did. I dressed the part of me looking to fuck. I dressed the part of not being faithful. That's
why. Why did you dress like that even though you knew he didn't like it? Why did you do it?
Because I wasn't getting the attention I was lacking. Because he wasn't meeting my needs and what I needed. And I also wasn't meeting his needs and what he needed at the time. So, and my way, instead of talking to him, which we both agreed we needed to communicate better, and we have been. It's been obviously amazing because we're getting a place. We're moving into our place, and we have all these things going for us. But then I didn't care. I wanted to find somebody who wanted me, but I was looking in the wrong places and I was dressing for all the wrong reasons, because I could, if I really wanted to find a man, I could be in sweatpants and a hoodie and shoes.
And they would still find you.
Yes, instead of wearing a skirt that could show my butt, like a skirt that's like this small, and like a crop top that's like cut out, that has my chest showing. Like I dressed how I wanted to be addressed.
I like that. Dress how you want to be addressed. That's what you should be putting up. People, dress how you want to be addressed.
There you go, yeah.
I like
OnlyFans' new slogan.
So I did a debate on my Facebook, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And mind you, I've had a lot of women say I am misogynistic, I am a woman hater, how can I say this if I used to do this? And I said, because people could change. I said, do women dress slutty for themselves or for attention for other men?
I don't know.
I think it's half and half. I think it's often for other women too. It's a bit of a pecking order.
Thank you so much for telling me, because basically what I say, so women say, also, as men, everything that a man does is for a woman. So let me break it down to you, yeah? Men, we don't lie. We don't pretend, right? As soon as you make money, you go get a haircut, that's for a woman, right? Yeah? You go buy a new car, that's for a woman. You go out to you go get new clothes, that's for a woman. Every single thing you do, you post pictures, that's for... Basically, it's always for women, and us men know it's for women, right? And we don't play about, we don't lie. We say, yeah, everything's for women, because at the end of the day, when you go make money, you go buy a new car, you might go buy a new car, but what's that going to be like? Oh, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to go to the nightclub in my new car. When this girl see me in the new car, okay, cool. Then you get new clothes, you'll be like, okay, cool, I got this new drip. When everyone sees me, I'm going to look fly, get this new jewelry. Everything is because it's going to attract attention from women, and we know this, yeah. But women will be like, no, I do it for me. Now, sometimes I believe them, because if you was doing it for men, you wouldn't be putting all these things into your lips and into your breast and into your bum. You wouldn't, because we don't want it, right? You wouldn't be wearing all these fake hair and all these things on your nails and you wouldn't know, because if he was doing it for men, you would not do one of those things because none of us has asked for it. Because if you ask men, we'd be like, we like our women natural. But then once you do that, they'll be like, oh, stay out of women's business. Stop talking about women's hair and stuff, yeah? So most men are not going to say anything because men just want sex. So if it means having to do what I do and speak about stuff which are going to trigger them, that's going to mess up the sex. No man's going to say that. In actual fact, they're going to look at my content and be with a woman and be like, oh my God, look at him. He's so misogynistic. She'll be like, do you agree with me? They'll be like, no, of course I don't. She'll be like, yeah, you're a real man. Give you this coochie. It's okay, I understand. But if you do what I do, no, I understand. Because I have friends that they're like, oh, this girl asked me, oh, is that really your friend? They're like, no, he's not really how he is on social media. And I'll be like, what do you mean he's not really? How am I? But it's just one of those things. People will lie. People will lie to get the outcome that they want. So I'm saying to you, like, I can't believe people sell me out like that. Crazy.
Yeah,
so is that your friend?
True.
My Facebook went wild. I woke up to like about 15 messages from women telling me to go kill myself because I was attacking them in a sense, which I didn't understand why. It was just a debate. So then they threw that I gave my daughter up as I'm going to attack you because you genuinely made a debate topic to talk about, which was fine. I handled it very well. I was honest. I said, if I came from a 2-parent household and was shown a different route, I would have not done what I've done because my mom didn't talk to me about sex. My mom tried to divert from it. She said it was icky, it was whatever. She never really parented me. It was, she went to work, she came home, she was too tired, she cooked, she went to bed. That was it. We had to make sure the house was clean. And if she worked late, we had to cook for ourselves. So I wasn't taught.
So I spoke yesterday about the disadvantages of being in a single parent home, and I talk about, you know what it is, whenever I speak to single mothers, they get so triggered when I tell them about the stats. Your children are more likely to end up pregnant. They're more likely to suffer from mental health abuse. They're more likely to basically die. Yeah, I speak about this all the time, and whenever I speak about it, they get triggered. But you're representative of it. It doesn't end the same for everybody. It does not. But then we have to say exceptions don't cancel the rule. I never speak in absolute, so I'm never speaking about all single. You know what I mean? Like, I think we have a level of education and intellectual intelligence that we know it's not all. But whenever I speak with women, they speak in all. But no one in the world deals in all. They deal in consensus and generalizing, right? So it's like, that's kind of like that's kind of, so when we speak about stuff, it just, I hate when people try to act like it has to be evil or no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know? No.
Well, and I also don't want to, like, I'm blaming my parents in a sense, but I'm also blaming myself because, again, I could have kept my legs closed. I could have not did what I did. Like, I don't want nobody to think like,
listen, you should have kept your leg closed. You should have not laid down with someone that should have been there. You should have used protection. You should have, basically, I have given that. But how many times you guys want me to talk about the same bars before she's going to be like, yes, I should have done that. But what happened? Okay, so let's talk about what did the guy do? Let's talk about what her mother didn't teach her. Like,
everything.
When you take away the father out of the home, right, and you have a woman now having to go to work full time to look after the kids, now the kids are teaching themselves. Now the kids are teaching themselves, right, yeah? They're having to do things because there's not a father in the home. This is what I spoke about yesterday, and the woman was getting triggered. And I said, what happens when a woman has to go to work and do the work for two? Automatically you're half the income in that, and she can't be there. Now she can't be there to home like you are there. You're homeschooling your kids. Do you realize what you're doing? Do you realize in the sense of oh my God. Hold on a second. This rest. Oh, well, it's about to, you know what? I'm gonna jump. Yeah, but I wanna just finish what I wanted to say, and then we'll call it for night. Else we're gonna go until like 5 in the morning. I didn't want to do that, but I want to finish what I wanted to say, and I wanted to do it properly. So we'll just jump back in, guys. Yeah, give me one.